There are three main things to focus on when shooting action sports photography to help you capture better photos instantly. Make sure to watch to the end because my last point is one that completely changed my action sports photography. So point number one, separate your subject from the background. And this can be done two ways. The first is by having a clean backdrop. So this can be done by shooting your subject at a lower angle so that you can keep the sky in behind them, or you can have an extreme color contrast between your subject and the environment surrounding them. The color contrast works best when there are complementary colors in the scene, like for example, my subject is wearing red in a green environment. The second way to separate your subject from the background is by compression through the lens. If you capture your subject on a longer focal length, the background will be blurred, keeping your subject the main focal point. By focusing on doing these two things, it's going to allow your subject to stand out from the environment that they're in, and as well, it will also benefit you because your viewer is going to know exactly where to look at a first glance. It's always best to take photos thinking about the end viewer. Okay, so point number two, and this is kind of in line with point number one, but backlight your subjects. Now this isn't a hard fast rule that you have to do within your photography. I personally love implementing it into my natural light photography because I feel like it creates a more three-dimensional image. There's definitely going to be moments where using harsh light is going to be more effective. But most times I'm looking to remove harsh light from my subjects because I want a more pleasing image. When you have more consistent lighting on your subjects, it's much easier to add light to those subjects in post-production without worrying about peaking highlights or adding more grain into those deep shadows. Sometimes when your backlight source is close to your subject, you're gonna notice that you have a bit of a washed out image. So if you add more contrast and lower the black points directly on your subject, you're gonna be able to correct that, bringing more attention to your subject. Before I get into the final point, I just wanna let you know that if you're looking to level up your action sports photography, I have my newsletter linked below. And if that's not your speed, I also share a lot of photography and editing tips that will help you improve your images. And this is all for free.
Sounds good to me.
So click the link below. Okay, so getting into point number three, shoot on the athlete's level. I think that this is one of the most detrimental mistakes that many photographers make is just shooting at eye level. We're constantly seeing the world from our eye level, so these shots tend to get boring super fast. That's why a drone shot or a detailed shot or even a low angle shot is really effective because our viewer doesn't get to see the environment from that perspective. And so it's more engaging. If you ask anyone that's ever shot with me, I get into the weirdest positions when I'm taking photos because I love to get on the athlete's level. Probably one of the most common angles that I'm known for in my photography is the low angle. I love using this angle within my photography because it makes the subject look more powerful. And when you're shooting action sports, that is the one emotion that you're really trying to evoke from your viewer. In that market, most brands are looking to showcase their products as powerful and innovative. Now just think, if you were to post a series of images in a carousel on Instagram and took them all from the same angle, it would get super boring. It's always so important to think when you're out shooting, what is the most creative way that I can tell the story? I'm not saying that you have to scrap the main angle, but these different types of shots can add so much depth to the story that you're trying to tell. So in a recent video that I put out, I shared 8 camera angles that every single photographer should know. So if you're looking to deep dive on your camera angles, go watch this video. All right, I'll catch you over in that video. Peace. See my new hat? It says Honda. If I get it right by my eye. Maybe you can see it in focus. Honda. The power of racing. Not sponsored by Honda.